All right. Good evening, Wolfpack. Good morning for some of you. Good afternoon. This is an exciting day. It is Wednesday, April 2nd, and we have a release of a new cartoon for the community. As you all probably know, part of our original narrative was talking about some of the events that go back all the way 3.5 years, and it will eventually be 4 years by the time we get to our own event, November 13th, 2025, in Las Vegas. And some people, I think, are have not followed along the full concept of our story, what we're doing, the story of the past, the story of our meme character, the Wolf Boy, and the story of the future, what we're planning on doing in the future. Many of you know that part of our original goal was to document the history of what happened, and we're still doing a lot of different things along that line. We've become essentially a media production company. We're producing content, both video, real in-person face video. We're doing live streams, documentaries, dozens of spaces, small memes, small videos, clips, but we're also now doing a cartoon series, as some of you have seen. And today we released the new episode that you hadn't seen before until this afternoon. It was just released. It's the story of the Cider Realty token. So if you're familiar at all with what happened, again, you may find that some of you might feel that this is not funny, that this wasn't funny. This was pretty rough, and at the same time, it's we've all experienced something that I think was a bit of a blow, a bit of a negative, and we're trying to life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Take this as a learning experience and run with it. And what we've done here is to take and make a little bit of a comedy out of something that was a both a very powerful learning experience. Some people, it was a good financial experience, but of course, for the vast majority, it was a loss. They ended up losing on it. It was a story of the difference between the people who trusted and believed and the people who, in different stages of the journey, got out. So, what I'm going to do tonight, again, please bear with me. Again, this is new technology. I thought that you probably would all enjoy, seeing a little bit on the screen, seeing, a face, and not necessarily just hearing me talk. Because I know some of the spaces, it's all audio and you don't get to see anybody. And because I'm already, on camera, I'm already doxxed. I do videos on camera all the time. I'm happy to do a live stream instead of a space. And so tonight we chose to do that. But again, please bear with us. This is my first time kind of running the controllers for StreamYard. I've been on StreamYard a number of times in the past running, speaking, but tonight we're going to run this, what's normally our Wednesday night space, as a StreamYard. It's going to go out to YouTube, X, as well as Instagram, which is cool because, our goal is to reach more people if possible. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to three things. I want to actually play back to back all of the cartoons thus far that we've made. And that's just in case you maybe missed one, if you're trying to put the pieces together of the story. In the storyline, you're going to notice there are dates. So if you're trying to figure out like when did these things happen, you're going to see the dates in the storyline. Hopefully you find some of the pieces comical. You're also going to have the intros and the outros on each of these little cartoons. So please, be patient with that, because remember, we're trying to keep each of these episodes about a minute to maybe a minute and 10 seconds, minute and 20 seconds, max a minute and 30 seconds. And here we've woven together all of the episodes and all the way up to the Cider Realty, which is towards the end of of this story. And the reason I'm doing this tonight is because I wanted to share with the community the vision for the remaining, 3, 4, 5 episodes. And I'd love to get feedback on it. So what I want to do is play the video. Again, it's 11 minutes. It's all of the ones we have thus far streamed together. And then I want to talk a little bit about the vision for the very, very next one. The script is already written for the next episode and the episode after that. So it's already ready for the animator to start working. I did want to let everybody know something that's really exciting, hot off the press, is that we are actually hiring an additional animator for the community. We've had a lot of different things where we've been, we need to make our blows count. And we've decided that, with the different money that we're spending in different ways as a community, that, getting additional animator help. And again, I am more than impressed and blown away by the work of Kai and April, what they've done, behind the scenes. And it's fun, it's funny, it's been, high quality, entertaining. It's just a really great thing. And so our goal is just to add to our content output. And to do that, we just simply need more manpower. So we actually have, people working full time on this community, creating content. And again, our goal is to get the normies in. Everybody probably saw our interview on Monday, 2 days ago, where we were talking about, what's going to make this so easy for people to push a button and buy our token is going to be on chain, which probably in a month or so, in the near future, maybe 1 month, maybe 2 months, I don't know. But you heard Ben talking about the timeline, so it's in the very foreseeable future. And fortunately, it seems that we'll have that available to easily add to our cartoons and our other videos, and that'll be ready before the full peak of the bull run. That's the goal. And that makes it really good timing, right? So that it's nice if everything is done yesterday, but if it's not done yesterday, we hope it's done soon, right? So let me share with you the cartoons. I'm going to play the video, and then sit back, grab a coffee or a beer or whatever you want, enjoy watching. And at the end of it, I'm going to stop and share with you the future, which is basically what are the next episodes going to look like. At the end of our conversation this evening in this live stream, what I want to do is I want to go to the Telegram, and that way it can be a true, open mic. Everybody can talk freely. If you're seeing this and you're new to this community, you're not a part of the Telegram, just look us up on the website. It's saitama.global. Click on the Telegram link, join Telegram. You probably already have a Telegram account, but go to Telegram, go to the VC, which stands for video chat, I believe, and it's a conversation that's happening, and everybody can you don't have to raise your hand or get approved. Everybody can just talk, and then we can have an open mic. If you want to ask any questions or talk more about this, tell us what you think about the previous cartoons and what I'm telling you about the coming cartoons. It's going to be open. I believe that that's much easier to have a conversation than it is to do on X. Honestly, X is kind of tough to hand out mics, and it's a little buggy still. Every single time I've used it, it's been a little buggy. So it's just harder to give out mics. I think Telegram works good for conversation. So here we go. Just go back in time, and if you're familiar with the events of Saitama Inu 2021, this is going to resonate with you. If not, just sit back and try to put the pieces together. Hopefully, you find some of the punchlines funny. So here we go.
I just heard the dev is out. What if we do a community takeover?
Here's the plan. Max, you're the tech guy. Nem, you're the chief business officer. I'll be the COO. And MK, you're the chief financial officer.
Because that's the dream. Here's hoping this ends well, and we don't wind up on some Netflix documentary in 2025.
Guys, Saitama Inu is taking off. I'm talking about it every day on YouTube.
I'm already rich,
Wow.
I've been in business for a long time with Berkshire Hathaway and whatnot. That Lamborghini I just got, definitely not from selling tokens. You all know that, right? Right?
This could be bigger than SHIB. The potential here is insane.
Man, this project is solid. I can see it taking off even more. If this keeps up, I might head to Vegas and celebrate old school style.
This is more than just a token. It's a community. Saitama is the start of something big. Saitama!
I like the momentum, but we've seen hype like this before. Let's just stay grounded and see where this goes. Not saying it's bad, but we've got to be realistic too.
I'm already rich, you know. Wow. That Lamborghini I just got, definitely not from selling tokens.
Man, this project is solid.
I like the momentum, but we've seen hype like this before.
Max, what is that app going to do differently anyway?
It's going to do everything and more, just fast and better.
But we already have MetaMask and Trust Wallet and Coinbase Wallet and more. Why do we need a new wallet?
Well, this one will melt faces.
Yeah, this one will be better and we'll call it Saitama Mask. Sort of like MetaMask, but better. The Saitama Mask is going to put all the exchanges right out of business, and if they argue with me, I'll sue them.
Max, you are going to need some help with all this technology, man. I'm going to hire 300 Indians to get this done.
Wow. 300 Indians? Man, I think we need 300 cowboys, but if you've got 300 Indians, let's do this thing. I think I'll even buy an exchange in India. How about that? Let's make it sell real estate too, and help homeless vets and fund commercial projects and stuff.
How can a meme token do all that?
I don't know, but they call me the hype man for a reason.
Yeah. And I say we buy a house in Dubai and tell the holders we will share the profits with them. And then I will make Saitama the currency for an entire country.
An entire country? How can an entire country use a meme token?
I know this guy from South Sudan and he says it will work. And besides, our token is deflationary. So eventually, instead of quadrillions, there will only be one token left. And it will be worth quadrillions!
When I say this app will do everything, I mean it. I even want to make it pay for logistics and whatnot. Like I said, I'm the hype man. My job is to make up ideas to excite the crowds. If it works or not is not my problem. I'm also going to make a token that pays you to watch TV, and we can sell it on our app exclusively.
Okay, so it's Saitama. We're hiring 300 Indians, buying an exchange, selling real estate, becoming the currency for South Sudan, paying for logistics, and getting paid to watch TV.
Sounds about right, just one thing missing. I met this retired rapper and hired him on to be our president of NFT curation and talent acquisition.
Really, Russ? How much did you spend now?
Only $50 million. Yeah, this one will be better and we'll call it Saitama Mask.
Okay, so it's Saitama. We're hiring 300 Indians, buying an exchange, selling real estate, becoming the currency for South Sudan, paying for logistics, and getting paid to watch TV.
Boys, we got to keep this hype train rolling. I say we throw a big event for the Saitama Mask launch. I'll just slap this baby down and book the MGM Grand. Boom, done.
I've been selling my billions of Saitama tokens like a Black Friday TV deal. Oh my god.
Max, can you have this Saitama Mask ready by November 13th?
Oh my god, this guy. There's no way on earth I'll have an app ready by then. Sure, I'm sure I can figure it out by then. As long as the CerTic audit doesn't take too long.
Okay, so that gives us 2 months to get FOMO going like a bonfire on rocket fuel.
I'll see if we can get some basketball players to show up.
Hey Russ, have you ever run an event like this before?
Nope. But as long as we have alcohol, no one will remember if it was a flop or the event of the century.
Oh yeah, and we need to invite Dilly Finance, right? And will Gabe have the Wolfcaster game ready to demo?
Yes, the game will be ready to demo. It will look like a 1980s 2D Atari game, but everyone will love it because it is play to earn. And because it has reflections and burn.
What? Did he just say burn? Are we playing with fire?
To be continued, maybe in Vegas where Russ swipes that big super rich guy's card at the MGM Grand.
Welcome everyone to the big event. The day has come. Oh yeah.
Hey Russ, is the Saitama Mask app ready for release today?
Well, in answer to that, I'd like to quote JFK, ask not what your dev can do for you, but what you can do for your dev. Right? But no, Max won't be here tonight. He's at home, finishing up the app. But hey, let's grab some drinks and howl a bit. Just gonna step outside for a moment to sell some tokens. I mean, use the restroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jake Gagane live from the Vegas event. A $7 billion company, and I'm the only media team they got. Thank God for my trusty cell phone.
Believe in your bags, baby.
Hold up. What? Is Russ selling tokens?
So let me get this straight. No app, no media team. And Russ just disappeared outside? Yeah, I don't know about this one, boys.
Are you ready? I present Wolfcaster.
Is this Flappy Bird?
It's play to earn. It has reflections and burn.
My name is Brad. I'm the owner of Lily Finance. I want to tell you the story of my little girl and how I learned to use her illness to make money.
This event is a total disaster.
Man, what a night. My head's pounding. I hope my mom made it home safe.
Man, that event was a blur.
I think we promised an entire crypto bank at some point.
Nah, we just gotta keep saying it's coming soon and make up new stuff every day. They'll believe. Speaking of, you guys like my new Lamborghini?
Russ, where'd you get that kind of money?
Oh, just some pennies saved up from selling other tokens. Not Saitama, though. Never sold a single one. Trust me. Guys, Max is stressed, but I'm as cool as a cucumber. This app will drop as soon as the CERTIC audit is done. That'll take a minute, but hey, buy the dip.
This is it. No turning back now. Start the countdown from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My God, why is this thing so slow?
Man, this thing is slower than an Ethereum gas fee.
What? I just paid $300 in gas fees to a failed transaction.
Hey guys, if you're watching this video, it means the app failed. It's because we've been attacked, a DDoS attack. That's right. The robots are after us, but there's nothing to fear. It's because Russ is...
What's that, Max? What is this, Max? Cut this crap now.
What in the did I just watch?
All right, boys, we need a token only on Saitamask. Something big, something people can't live without.
We call it Saita Realty. We're talking zero-emission homes, affordable housing, commercial development, and yes, ending veteran homelessness.
What? What does the token actually do?
Oh my God, of course, it fixes housing, Max. It's simple. Real estate is expensive, so let's add crypto to it.
What if I buy a $2 million house in Dubai, live in it, and just say it's for the community?
Yup. And in Dubai, you're less likely to get, indicted.
Forget physical homes. We build in the metaverse. I'll design an island shaped like a wolf head. Holders buy NTSs, non-tangible somethings, and stake them for land on Wolf Boulevard.
What does any of this have to do with real estate?
Bro, this is real estate, just without the real part.
Affordable housing, Dubai mansions, metaverse plots, NFTs, and you can only get it on Saitamask.
So we fix homelessness by making it more expensive to be online?
Exactly. It's a win-win, unless you're poor. Because the only thing more inflated than rent is our token supply.
What?
All right. So that was it. That was 11 minutes. So that's a series of all of the episodes that we've done thus far in through the Site of Realty launch. And hopefully you found some of that funny. I hope so. I think there was definitely, some funny because of the fact, some things are funny because of the fact that if you know the truth, you know the reality of it, that it is like somebody, I've had a lot of people say that couldn't have happened, like they couldn't have said that. So it's not funny because there's no way that any of that has any connection to a true story. And when I explained that basically every single thing in that video, every single thing other than a few random little funny pieces is like exactly, you could go back and document where in the story it wasn't funny at the time. It was just an actual a dev team doing what they were doing and coming up with ideas. And so I wanted to share with the community tonight the vision for the next episode, the next episode, the next episode after that. Since you've now seen basically everything so far, there's dates in this one, and it goes back to May 31st, 2021. And then it goes all the way through, the time in between. The Vegas event was November of 2021. And then after, I think January 8th was the official launch of the Saitama Mask. And then it was quite a bit after that where it was where they actually launched Site of Realty for the first time. So, you've got a whole timeline bringing you on into 2022 and even in really on into 2023. So what's the story for the future? Well, let me share with you guys the thought, and we're going to be working on this. And again, this is a community project. I want to hear everybody's thoughts about it, but I want you to understand, our thinking about how this old story is going to be woven into our story as a community of SWP, the resurrection, the revamping, the reborn, the story of the Wolf Boy as a character, the story of our community, all the way back to last year. And there's some pieces of it that I think we can have some fun with, all the way back in, stuff that happened in 2024 that we can have some fun with. But the goal that of the storyline is to bring us pretty quickly, maybe in about 3 or 4 episodes, pretty quickly into November 13th of 2025. In other words, our Vegas event that is 220 some days ahead of us into the future, where we're all sitting around, all of us in this room, right? All of us in this room and many more, are maybe 100 or 200 or 300 millionaires, that we're all millionaires. And just imagine that as a cartoon where you've got all of the people who have been fighting for this token. The November event is probably going to coincide with I don't know if it's the peak, but hopefully a much higher market. The market will have had taken off by then. But in the cartoon anyway, we're going to be talking about November long before November. Let's put it that way, just in about 3 or 4 episodes. So the very next episode is basically the crypto winter. So I'm not going to belabor much more about the silly stuff that took place with the previous dev team, but we're going to go right into the crypto winter. So the people in the next episode are going to be talking about the whole market. They're devastated. They are complaining that especially their Saitama Inu is down. They're down to a penny on the dollar. They should have sold. They should have taken profits. They should have cashed out. And then you're going to have, get this, Sam Bankman-Fried is going to show up. So again, a character nothing to do with Saitama or this storyline, but obviously to do with crypto. Sam Bankman-Fried, that whole incident with FTX took place actually in November of 2022. So Sam Bankman-Fried shows up and says something like, "Hey guys, do you want to buy some FTX?" And then he turns around and basically lights a fuse, and he blows up the entire crypto industry. So we illustrate, entire crypto market literally has like a nuclear bomb blowing it up. And we get this image of just the total crypto winter after a nuclear explosion. And in this image, you're going to see a couple is basically laying there dead in this frozen winter. And there's this little baby, and the baby's still alive. And there's a pack of wolves come up and see the baby and basically pick up the baby like a wolf picks up, or a dog picks up, a baby wolf, and picks up the baby and takes it and raises it. So it's the story. We're going to have the narrator say something about, this is the story begins in the long crypto winter of a young child that was orphaned and raised by wolves. It's the story of Wolf Boy. And so Wolf Boy is kind of coming out of the crypto winter that was, part of it was created by, FTX collapse, but also, a lot of it with Saitama Inu and what was going on. And then time goes by, brings us forward to a situation where Wolf Boy is around in May of 2024. Now, Wolf Boy comes out and he's older and he shows himself as a hero, right? He's got his cape. He's bigger. He's a hero. And May of 2024, he's around. And then he said, I've heard the legends of the OG Wolf Pack. I wonder if we could get them back together and run it back. So it's a little bit like originated with the Wolf Boy, hearing about the stories of the original pack from in the past, raised by wolves. And then Faltron shows up and says, hey, did you say run it back? And then he thinks to himself, someone just launched a token. It's the new Saitama on the Solana blockchain called the One Punch Man. So let's get the original OG team from Saitama Inu back together and let's run it back. So we're going to have some of the characters, which are the people that that I remember anyway, were early on, and have cartoon characters of them showing up and kind of getting excited about putting together this running it back. And then we're going to have a little Yaktown, a little whoever, everybody else that we can remember from the early days is going to be in this running it back. And then basically that's the bringing on the story of the reunion, because that was started in May. You got to remember that a lot of the stuff that happened later on with the original devs wasn't until October. So then Wolf Boy, that's one episode. Okay, that's the next episode. After that is going to be the episode where Wolf Boy kicks some butt. Wolf Boy is going to come in and fight for justice. So Wolf Boy is going to hear stories about how, some of these people, have just, taken advantage, really hurt the market. And so the first fight is he's going to go after Sam Bankman-Fried and totally beat the crap out of him. So Wolf Boy is going to find out he was the most damage to crypto that anybody's ever had. He's going to go after him and just attack and beat the crap out of him, put handcuffs on him and throw him in jail. And then he's going to hear about that the original devs, and we're going to actually cite the actual allegations against the original devs, because obviously everybody is innocent until proven guilty. So we're just going to cite whatever's been publicly stated, and just Wolf Boy is going to get upset about it. He's going to go and he's going to fight for justice. And so essentially we're establishing the storyline of, the origin of the Wolf Boy, but also the origin of our current community. So that's 2 more episodes. After that, we're going to focus on our community and what happened with our community from that timeline, whether, June, July, August, all the way through, up until now. We're going to focus on that a little bit. I think we might have some fun with some of the events that happened, and we can brainstorm. If you are hearing this and you have ideas of like, oh no, you got to mention this, or you got to talk about this, or that would be funny, send me a DM, because this is our community. This is our project. It's our cartoon. And then at some point we go straight to our Vegas event, where all of us are millionaires. In other words, we've made the comeback, It's kind of the the underdog made the comeback, the reclamations, and it's going to be some of the original people like, hey, I literally lost everything in the original, but I made it back now because I put in what I could and I made it back in this second rendition. So the reason I'm even sharing this too is so that everyone understands how a simple cartoon, which at that point might be 15 minutes, if we edit the fronts and the backs and stuff, we're talking about 15 minutes, and a child could understand the connection between the current community and the old community. Because again, I seriously recognize that people don't seem to get it sometimes. They're like, oh, I see the S word and you must be bad people. They just don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. And the cool part about it is it opens up an entire future for us about how that storyline can go with the wolf boy having adventures and fighting for justice and teaching, because we've already done so much of that. But in this case, people will have a little bit of a connection between, they've seen his origin and understand what does he have to do with us. So we'll probably have an Earlswood character, an Adam character, an April character, a Tom character. So we're going to have a Shayna character, a Shri character. We've got to have all of our current community members as cartoons as a part of our community, and just put us in the story. And I think that's pretty cool, because how many people actually have a cartoon of themselves? That's not a very common thing. I think it's just fun for people to be like, hey kids, tell your grandkids, that I was in a cartoon, because I used to hang out with people and do participate in a meme token. And again, I did a video a couple days ago about what is a meme, and I went through. A meme really is, I liken it very much to a sports team. I was going to share with everybody a photo of my brother and I. It must have been like probably like 1979, something like that, like without exaggerating. It was a guy named Leroy Selman, and he came to our town. He was in this area, and he played for the football team that was newly formed called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if you're familiar with American football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually did win the Super Bowl a couple of times. But, from that point, 79 until, now, it's been a long road of not doing, there's been a lot of rough years of that team developing. But we got this picture together with Leroy Selman, and I must have been like probably 8 or 9 years old, and my brother maybe was 10 years old, and he ended up getting, he had like a ball or a helmet and got Leroy's signature. And the picture is so funny. I'll share it as soon as I find a copy of it. Is that we got these little skinny kids, little skinny blonde kids, and Leroy Selman is literally like almost twice as tall as us. And the guy weighs probably 350 pounds, like all day long. He's huge. And it's like, you do not want to run into this guy. The funny part of that story is that I think it was probably just having met such a key player. And I think, Leroy's probably in like a Hall of Fame. You can look him up, Leroy Selman from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And my brother, that was it. Like from that day on, he got that signature. He was a Bucks fan. He supported the Buccaneers. In rain or shine, he would go down to the Miami games down in Miami with a friend of his who loves the Miami Dolphins, and he's cheering for the Buccaneers. And I just think it's funny, because I really believe that people like to to be a part of a community. They like to be a part of something, right? They like to wear a jersey. By the way, I have probably a couple days more before my jersey actually shows up. I ordered the new logo on a T-shirt and on our merch store, and so I'll have it on my next video or so when I get it. So probably within a few days. I think it wasn't going to take long. But it is similar, because while it's true that some of us we get into a meme token and we invest in a meme token as an investment. It's not necessarily just a hobby; it's an investment. But at the same time, it is my illustration. Something that's kind of dawned on me a lot lately is the community's working hard, the community supporting, the community shilling. but at the same time, we're not in the massive, banana zone of the bull run yet. We're just not. And it's almost like, if your expectations are that this is the time right now where your wallet should be, blowing up and you should be taking profits, if you're thinking that this is right now, it's almost like, you have winter, and we've been through a winter. You have spring, you have summer, and then you have fall. And traditionally, you get up, you survive the winter. Remember, I said just in one of my recent videos, sometimes just surviving is thriving. And for us, some of us, sometimes as a community, I look at a lot of other tokens and you just kind of get my head around it. They're not surviving. They're literally just going down to dust. Sometimes just holding the line and surviving is thriving, because you're making it through another day. And it has to do with the market, right? When the market's really rough in the winter, if you're surviving the winter, you are thriving. That's all you could ever ask of yourself. Now, when the market shifts, that's when you've got to be ready, because you've been working hard. You're working hard in the spring. You're working hard in the summer. And because you're working so hard in the summer, when the time comes in the fall, when you hit the harvest, you are ready to truly reap your rewards. The problem is, if you're running around thinking that you're in the fall, in the summer, you're going to be stressed out, because your expectations are not in connection with reality. So please just, everybody, we all just look ourselves in the mirror. I'm actually working on some memes that have some really great quotes, and I want to make them like fully branded to the community. I know we've posted some of them. April shared some of them. Just because I think that a meme that's shareable, that people maybe like, if it gets shared to all the different social medias, hopefully somebody will share it with, a bunch of other people, and it'll have a connection back to us, whether it be just a website or our logo. But it's a wise saying, right? A proverb or something that's cool. But a lot of it, a lot of the ones that I've pulled up lately have to do with, deferred gratification leads to success, right? People who can wait to take profits and be patient when they've done something, right? Seeing a little bit more of like an owner versus a renter, a long-term thinker versus a short-term thinker. And some of the, the words that I think are very wise have to do with people who, have a sense of being able to wait, to endure boredom, to endure pain for the short term. They end up coming out the other end as extremely successful. And a lot of people just are not like that. They're more like a renter. They're very short. They're very short-sighted. And as soon as, the market goes down, they sell their bags. And there's honestly, everyone can do whatever they want to do, but it's kind of a sad situation, because our goal is to stick together. And when our volume, someone was complaining to me, one of our community members was complaining to me just yesterday or this morning that our volume is so low. And it's like, well, I'm glad the volume is low, because part of volume is people selling, right? So if our volume is low because everybody's just sitting back and enjoying themselves and doing their thing, and that creates low volume because nobody's selling, I'd rather have that. Because volume, yes, volume means people buying, but people will buy from our content, and that's our goal, right? We're going to keep creating content, keep creating something that turns heads, gets attention. And so just be on the lookout for what we've got coming up. Hopefully you have a better vision now of what the cartoon is going to be. And again, I like I say, that was 11 minutes so far, and we haven't gotten to the pieces that I just described to you. So we're looking at least 15 minutes. We're going to polish up, some of the little tweaks, some of the little things that need to be tweaked. But again, very exciting news that we have our new cartoon was released. We committed to actually hiring an additional animator today. We're going to hire an additional animator to support. So we're going to have basically 3 staff members working and supporting to help us keep creating content. And I think that's just going to be, it's going to be what keeps building for our community. So that was all that I had for our live stream. What I would like to do is just take a few minutes over on the Telegram. That way everybody can just shout, say anything, ask any additional questions, etc. So I'm going to just stop the live stream and jump over to the Telegram, and we can talk a little more over there. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I'll talk to you then.